Could you have imagined that your heart's health can be traced all the way back to a hidden slippery film that coats your artery walls, which is a good thing. When it's healthy, it helps to protect and maintain healthy arteries and your heart and avoid unwanted consequences. You need to see this for yourself. Come with me for just a moment as we travel down your arteries and flow along with your blood. Look over here at the artery wall. Now reach out and feel the slippery gel lining. It's called the glycocalyx. It's so thin you can't even see it, and scientists have only recently discovered its role in protecting artery health. Now look at that clump of cholesterol. It's getting stuck and penetrating the artery surface. That's a sign that your glycocalyx may no longer be healthy, and you may be headed for trouble. In fact, that gel lining was most likely at its healthiest when you were a child. By the time you reached your 20s, it gradually started to wear down for all kinds of reasons. But I can assure you, there is still hope. It's not too late to start strengthening and protecting your glycocalyx gel lining to help support your heart's health. When healthy, the glycocalyx provides a protective barrier that allows fats and cholesterol to glide freely along through our arteries. But when that delicate gel lining gets overwhelmed and can't repair itself quickly enough, artery problems flare up, and that can snowball into even bigger concerns. The good news is, this protective gel lining can be supported by several vital nutrients that have never been combined before. With a new understanding of the essential role of this gel-like lining, we know that we can take control of our artery health now before it gets out of hand. You're about to learn of these recent discoveries, now becoming known throughout the medical community, about the protective function of the gel lining found on our artery walls that had never been detected before. We now understand that this delicate, slippery gel lining is actually the first line of defense for healthy arteries and a healthy heart. Over the years, we've always suspected that cholesterol contributes to an unhealthy heart and vascular system. 20th century science convinced us that we should be worried about an elevated level of cholesterol. But if you're like me, you may have wondered if researchers would someday discover something new in our lifetime. Well, it's finally happened. New scientific studies have clarified our perspective. It's not just the level of cholesterol that we should be alarmed about. Now the medical community is coming to know that the real threat is when cholesterol sticks and penetrates our artery walls. Think of it this way. Your blood should flow freely in your arteries just like traffic moves along on a smooth, well-maintained road. But when the road is bumpy and narrow, traffic doesn't flow as well. The same is true for blood flowing along in your arteries. Now you may wonder what has changed to reveal the importance of keeping your arteries healthy. The answer has been elusive. You see, until a few years ago, the only way to study the anatomy of an artery wall was to examine it outside of the body. But in the process of artery removal and the preparation necessary to examine it, a crucial, delicate gel lining was destroyed and had never been noticed. Now we know that this slippery gel lining in your arteries promotes the free flow of blood and is called the glycocalyx. In fact, the glycocalyx shows up in Mother Nature all the time. For instance, the surface of your eye is kept moist and lubricated by a glycocalyx gel layer so the eyelid can glide over it. And fish have a glycocalyx layer on the outside of their bodies to help them glide freely in the water. It's the slime you feel right after you catch one. But you may have noticed, it quickly vanishes, just like it disappears from freshly removed human arteries before it can be discovered or studied. Now, with new imaging technology, we can observe the glycocalyx as it functions in living arteries and understand exactly how it works, what it does, and how it can be maintained. The glycocalyx is a gel-like layer containing a meshwork of specialized polysaccharides and proteins that are attached to our artery walls. A healthy glycocalyx is a mere 2 microns thick, and it lines the interior of the miles and miles of blood vessels in the human body. So thin that you'd have to stack up about 30 layers of it to equal even the thickness of one newspaper page. When it's healthy, cholesterol and other substances are swept along in your bloodstream so they don't stick as much to your artery walls, helping to protect you from all sorts of problems. So we knew all along that we should pay attention to cholesterol, but while we were obsessed with heaps of cholesterol moving along in the blood, our focus should now be on keeping it from sticking to the artery walls. I spoke with Dr. Derek Da Silva, a noted radio talk show host for the past 2 decades. He is a physician who integrates natural therapies with the world of modern medicine. A practicing internist at Raritan Bay Medical Center, Dr. Da Silva explained that over the years, we focused on the blood because we didn't know any differently.
Over the years, we focused on the blood and what it carries instead of the artery wall. When the artery wall is healthy, various substances don't stick to it. By shifting our focus to supporting the health of the artery and the glycocalyx, we see that the path to heart health begins with artery health. What's important for you to know is that the glycocalyx is an extremely delicate structure. When it is worn down over time as a result of poor diet, lack of exercise, smoking, genetics, and even natural aging, substances like cholesterol can get under the lining of the glycocalyx and begin to erode the artery wall. Over time, as the glycocalyx wears down, the path to poor artery health begins. Simply stated, good heart health and good artery health go hand in hand.
This discovery could only happen because of revolutionary imaging technology. It took years of exhaustive research, but the findings have now been published in over 150 scientific papers. Yet, even today, most in the medical community are just now becoming aware of the key role of the glycocalyx in artery health. While its discovery was astounding, the researchers also found an amazing symbiotic relationship within the artery wall. Here's your glycocalyx, the gel-like layer with its associated specialized polysaccharides and proteins. It's this meshwork of fluids, proteins, and polysaccharides that allows the blood and everything it carries along to move smoothly through the system. Under your glycocalyx is the endothelium. The one-cell-thick endothelium functions as an integrated organ, and it lines all the arteries, veins, and capillaries, even the heart itself. Spread out, it's estimated it would cover about 3,500 square feet. Yet, it's estimated to weigh a mere 7 ounces. A healthy glycocalyx keeps the flowing blood particles from touching the endothelial layer, which looks sort of like shingles on a rooftop. And just like your roof shingles keep water from leaking, your endothelial cells overlap each other to keep fat and cholesterol particles from seeping into your artery wall. But here is where problems can begin. When a stressed glycocalyx becomes worn down and is sheared off, the interior of the artery changes from slippery to sticky. When that happens, cholesterol can no longer be swept along like it should, and gaps in the endothelium are just what the cholesterol needs to sneak in under the layer of shingle-like endothelial cells and lodge within your artery wall. Let's take a closer look at what leads to a weakened glycocalyx. Not surprisingly, it weakens because of all the usual suspects: a diet high in fats and sugar, a lack of exercise, smoking, heredity, and aging. For example, when you eat just one high-fat meal, that juicy steak that you love, and follow it with a delicious piece of carrot cake that you crave, your glycocalyx takes a 1-2 punch. While your body naturally tries to heal the glycocalyx, it takes time. As you age and stress your arteries with those occasional lapses in your diet, the hits your arteries take add up faster than your body's natural ability to restore this essential protective barrier. Every time you consume high fat or high sugar, your glycocalyx is under siege. In fact, it can take 4 to 8 hours after you eat a high-fat or high-sugar meal for your body to naturally restore the health of the glycocalyx lining.
The glycocalyx is a gel-like structure that contains chains of specialized sugar molecules linked to proteins that are attached to the artery wall. When dietary sugars or fats enter your bloodstream, this gel-like layer and its microscopic fibers are flattened and even destroyed. Once this happens, your body sets out to begin the lengthy process of rebuilding the gel-like layer. In fact, it can take up to 8 hours for your body to restore the glycocalyx after a high-fat, high-sugar meal. If you follow it up with another high-fat or high-sugar snack before these structures are rebuilt, the glycocalyx gets gradually thinner and becomes less effective in protecting the artery wall. A thin, weak glycocalyx is unable to keep fatty substances from sticking to the artery wall and will leak into the structure below, called the endothelium.
These repeated attacks on your glycocalyx set off a downward spiral in the health of your arteries. So how can you strengthen and rejuvenate your glycocalyx and endothelium? A smart diet and exercise are the foundation, and you should work with your physician to create an optimal regimen suited for your health. And for added support, there are several critical nutrients that you can include in your diet. The symbiotic relationship of these critical nutrients helps your body repair your glycocalyx. The exciting news for you and me is that when these nutrients are combined, they balance one another to support your arteries and therefore your heart in powerful ways scientists had not understood until recently. Like many Americans, you can go to a local health food store or search online to find all sorts of nutritional supplements to support your health, including artery and heart health. But nowhere will you find a nutritional supplement that helps the production of certain key molecules and the building blocks necessary in maintaining a healthy glycocalyx. Nowhere until now. That's why it's time to announce an all-natural supplement revolutionizing the support of artery and heart health. It's called Arterosil. Arterosil is for your arteries. It's a new and proprietary blend of these specific artery-supporting nutrients. Radio and Television Medical Authority Dr. Derek Da Silva has extensive professional experience with dietary supplements and their effectiveness in supporting heart health. Here's what Dr. Da Silva has to say about the benefits of including Arterosil's proprietary blend of nutrients in your diet.
When special nutrients like those found in Arterosil are added to the diet, they help support the structure of the glycocalyx. This unique combination of natural ingredients provides the building blocks to support the body for a healthy glycocalyx. A healthy glycocalyx translates into healthy arteries, which directly support a healthy heart.
So while you may watch your diet and get plenty of exercise, your lifestyle choices alone aren't enough to ensure that your glycocalyx will always be healthy. Heredity and aging are a fact of life, and you can't escape their effects. As you look in the mirror, you may see yourself with a healthy and youthful appearance. But inside your arteries, an entirely different and troubling process could be unfolding. Your glycocalyx and endothelium may already be weakening. You just can't see it or even detect it until it begins causing problems. With Arterosil for your arteries, it's never too late to start taking control of your artery and heart health. Finally, remember this. The health of your glycocalyx is impossible to determine without testing from a specially trained physician, and weakness can occur before you're even aware of it. You may think you're healthy when you look into a mirror, but inside, your glycocalyx and therefore your arteries could be affected and you'd never even know it. Take control of your health. Do the things that you can control to rebuild and rejuvenate your glycocalyx. Eat a healthy diet, get exercise, don't smoke, and talk with your doctor about your artery health. And for added support and your own peace of mind, include Arterosil for your arteries now in your daily regimen.